Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and just be blessed. My name is Alex Castillejos, and let me tell you, we share people's testimonies and I left the messages and how God is good. But let me tell you, tonight I have a special guest, and his brother Daniel Rivera. Um, Let me tell you, he's gonna be talking about an amazing topic that sometimes we haven't thought about it, but we're so full of toxins. Okay, and let me tell you, he has a topic that he's gonna help us to understand how to get rid of it, all those toxins. And sometimes we need to have some detoxing in our body, and he's gonna be sharing some a product in the end of the show. So please share with your friends and family this link, because right now this is a live show here in Just Be Blessed and YouTube and Facebook. And if you have any questions for him, he's the expert, and I'm sure he has all the answers. So let's invite him here in Just Be Blessed. How you doing, Daniel? Welcome to Just Be Blessed.
I'm doing good. Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on with you today.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, I mean, I knew your dad, and I mean, sharing health and preaching and all the stuff. And I'm so happy that you carry on, that message, right? And can you please
Oh
share with
yeah.
us, because maybe people's like, who's this guy? Maybe the last name I kind of heard about health, but please share with us who you are, what the ministry, and what are you involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
So my name is Daniel Vierra, like Alex mentioned, and I grew up in health ministry. Originally, when I was a child, my parents had health food stores in
Okay.
California.
Okay.
My father, he was a bodybuilder, and he wasn't a Christian individual, but he had these health food stores. And Alex, I think it's really interesting because God works on our lives in mysterious.
Mm,
Um, so
yeah.
my father, he had these health food stores. He was this bodybuilder, winning trophies at competitions, and he was receiving these 3x5 note cards from his Christian employees, and they had to do with exactly what he was dealing with that day.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
it was interesting because here, my father, an agnostic, God was slowly touching his heart.
Hmm.
And he bought the health food stores. He opened a health food store to make money. But sure enough, he became a Christian out of it. But I share this because
God.
when I was a child, my father, he was looking at, okay, what is the best diet approach? What is the best lifestyle approach that I could raise my children on so
Hmm.
they could live as happy and healthy as possible? So he started a deep dive into nutrition and how he can not only assist his body, his customers' bodies, but also his children's bodies as well. So I grew up with this health. It's kind of like it's part of who I am, it's part of
Wow.
my DNA
Hmm.
because I've been into health, a health advocate ever since I was a child. And as I got older into high school and into college, I really developed a passion in seeing individuals' transformations when they adopted the health approach. I mean, some of the testimonies, Alex, from individuals who simply changed their diet or recognized that certain detox and certain environmental um, issues can be affecting our bodies, but the transformations that they were experiencing in a matter of days. And the interesting thing is it's not as if we wake up one morning and we go, oh man, I'm sick,
Hmm.
or oh man, I have joint pain, or
Yeah.
I have this chronic condition. Alex, it's one of those things to where we have to work hard at getting sick. And so many times individuals are like, oh well, what's the latest potion or remedy or herb or vitamin that I can incorporate to get me back to health? And yes, there are amazing vitamins and minerals and herbs out there, but
Hmm.
we have to keep in mind that it took years to get to a place where we're experiencing poor health, and it could take time to regain our health as well. But the remarkable thing, Alex, is the body can respond quickly and rather favorably. So it's testimonies when I see individuals and they've regained their life.
Hmm.
This has really given me the passion to continue the work that we're doing.
Mm.
So I've always had this passion as I grew up into high school and into college, and then working within our ministry and our company. Um, Starting out with, we have a lifestyle center. So starting out with juicing carrots for our clients, to then um, managing the team, to then eventually teaching the classes, to then eventually running the programs. And now my wife and I, we continue this ministry, and we continue this company that we have, Modern Man and Ministries, and our lifestyle center, Bella Vita Lifestyle Center. And it's just, it's such a blessing. I mean, I think of the name of your show here, Just Be Blessed. It's a blessing to see how we could better individuals' lives through a health message.
Amen.
So that's kind of in a nutshell a little bit of my background. I'm just really being able to work with individuals one on one, see individuals regain their health. And I mean, the approach, I think a lot of times individuals, they get lost because there's so much noise out there online as far as what diet approach, what lifestyle approach to follow
Hmm.
to receive proper success and results. And I think a lot of times people get confused and they get a little bit lost. So what I like to do is, hopefully, sort through some of that noise, provide individuals an approach that they actually can incorporate and receive proper results. So yeah, I'd like to jump in and look at a couple things on how we're helping individuals uncover, some of the health issues and health concerns they have through a holistic, natural approach.
Yes, please share with us,
Yeah,
and I'm sure you can tell us what kind of toxin stuff is up there that is gonna really damage us in our human body.
I know, man, Alex.
Mm.
The thing I see when we jump into that is I find individuals, in their younger years, in their 20s, into their 30s, they're focused on growing their financial wealth. They're focused on their career, and sometimes they put their health on the back burner. And they go, well, I'm young. There's nothing I really need to worry about. I feel fine.
Mm.
But the thing is, we're developing habits. And for some people, we're developing unhealthy habits that eventually are going to lead to chronic issues. And then we see individuals, once they reach their 40s and their 50s, they start experiencing joint pain. They start experiencing different chronic conditions. They're not feeling the best. They're not sleeping the best. Maybe they're incorporating, or maybe they're now experiencing depression or anxiety. And so we certainly like to, lay a foundation for individuals so they could incorporate different steps and different techniques to where they could better their overall health. But you mentioned toxins. Okay, I think it's really interesting because in the 2010 epidemiological study by the journal Science,
Mm.
they show that 70 to 90%, I think that's a lot, 70 to 90% of all chronic issues are related to environmental factors.
Mm.
So an individual is coming down with a disease here, it's saying there's a large percentage of environmental toxins that can be associated with your poor health that individuals have. And we think of environmental pollutants. We think of environmental issues that individuals are dealing with, and I think of toxins.
Mhm.
I mean, for instance, if we think of a toxin, we know that a toxin damages every aspect of our physiological function. I mean, these toxins are damaging our body. And I think it's interesting because, in Leviticus, we read that the life is in the what? The life is in the blood. So ultimately, we want to have clean blood. Ultimately, we want to have blood purification. And if you look at the toxins and the pollutants that we're bombarded with, ultimately, they're going to affect our blood system. And the life is in our blood. So ultimately, we're wanting to have clean blood.
Mm.
Um, but looking at these toxins here, they play a role in virtually all diseases. that an individual can experience. And I mean, what's interesting is each individual, we're not going to come down with the same disease. I may, I mean, hopefully I don't. I may come down with a disease down the road that could be different than what my neighbor comes down with.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all susceptible by toxins and pollutants that are affecting our bodies, that are not assisting our bodies to pure health. And because of this, sickness and disease ultimately can come about our bodies. And it's sad because, we see that there's over about 80,000 chemicals that we're bombarded with. And
Wow.
a lot of these chemicals that we're bombarded with, a lot of them are understudied, or a lot of them may be underregulated as well. So it's concerning because what are some of these toxins that we're bombarded with? How may they be affecting our health? And why are we bombarded by all of these toxins? But what can we do to combat these toxins? What can we do to assist our health? Alex? Um, I mean, if you think about it, some of these toxins that we're bombarded with, they're affecting our health, they're affecting our life. But I think of, as far as toxins, I look at some of the environmental toxins, and I look at what are we putting on our hair, what are we putting on our skin, what toxins may be in our water, what toxins and pollutants may we be breathing in our air, what toxins and pollutants may be in the food supply that we're eating that's supposed to be providing us health, that's supposed to be providing us nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
What are the everyday things that we're incorporating into our lives that potentially could be affecting our health? Because maybe we're not aware of these toxins and these pollutants that we're bombarded with.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alex, one of the things I think of is I mentioned earlier as far as what are we putting on our skin? I would say the majority of individuals who are watching or listening to this, they most likely use something called deodorant. I would think, most individuals, they want to smell nice. They don't want to have to perspire. But if you look at the ingredient list on your deodorant, if you're using a conventional deodorant that's on the shelves, you're going to see a form of aluminum. Now, what is an aluminum? It's a toxin. And it's a toxin that we need to be concerned about. Now, it's put in deodorant because it's an antiperspirant. Sadly, it actually could cause you to stink more. But there was a research article done, and what they showed was that individuals are 6 times more, they have a 6 time more, I wouldn't say chance, but their body is going to absorb aluminum 6 times more if they apply deodorant after they shave. And so I think of, all of the women out there who shave and then put on deodorant underneath their armpits. They are absorbing this aluminum. And some may say, oh, aluminum, it may not be that concerning. I mean, it's just such a small amount of aluminum. I mean, is there really anything I should be concerned about? But aluminum, it's known as a neurotoxin. Aluminum, it's linked to Alzheimer's disease. Aluminum, it's linked to Parkinson's disease. And it's linked to multiple sclerosis as well. So would you want to be putting something on your skin that's linked to many different health issues? You know,
But it's cheap.
but it
You know what I'm saying?
it's
Sometimes, like, I know the options for the healthy ones, and just to be honest to you, I think last year, I tried many times with like the natural way, and of course it's not kind of like the same like the other ones, or it's more expensive, and but my wife is like, no. I mean, she changed that long time ago. Like, if you want to do the cheap stuff, go ahead, not me. So
I
I'm
know,
trying
right?
the healthy one, and I mean, you hear stories like you were mentioning all this information, and you're like, man, I don't want to put aluminum or all those toxins in my body, and Wow, good to I mean, good to know that. I mean, thank you for sharing that. I mean, wow.
Yeah. So like you say, it's cheaper,
Yeah.
but who's paying the price in the long run?
Wow.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to come down with one of these health issues if you're using deodorant, but it's certainly something to be mindful of because we're not just ingesting or absorbing toxins through our deodorant.
Mm,
It's through the air we breathe, the water we drink,
yeah.
pesticides and sprays on our food. So if we look at the many different areas in which we're absorbing and ingesting these toxins, if you think of your body as a sponge, it's absorbing these toxins and these impurities.
Mm,
Now, God has created our body to naturally detoxify, to naturally heal, to naturally recover. But if we're ingesting these toxins and these impurities faster than we could eliminate them,
mm,
that's where issues
yeah.
come into play, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so we had an individual who came through our program about 6 or 7 years ago. And when she called up, I spoke with her and I said, I don't know if you're a real candidate for our program because you have so many different health issues. But she
Mm,
said, Daniel, I really feel as if God is leading me to your program and I want to come. Please don't turn me away. And so she came to our program and I wish you could see her picture. I'll have to share it with you. But on day one, she took a picture and her cheeks are puffy and they're red. Her eyes, they're droopy and they look like they're lifeless. She's not feeling good. And
mm,
she had 9 chronic conditions. Many of them were autoimmune conditions as well. She was dealing with polycystic ovarian syndrome. She was dealing with Hashimoto's disease. She was dealing with leaky gut syndrome. She was dealing with celiac issues or gluten intolerance,
mm,
diabetes insipidus. She was dealing with mixed connective tissue disease. She was dealing with lupus. She was dealing with Raynaud's disease. And during her intake, she said, the one thing I would just love to be able to do is to be able to hold my boyfriend's hands and not have pain. She was having so much pain and inflammation within her joints to where it was affecting her everyday life.
mm,
Now, I don't know about you, Alex, but I wouldn't want to live life like that.
no.
I wouldn't want to live life with all of these different chronic conditions. I wouldn't want to have to live life with joint pain and inflammation that was keeping me from enjoying life in my everyday activities, you know? And on day 5, she showed us a picture. She said, I took a picture on the first day and I took a picture on the second day.
Mm,
And she showed us the picture and she said, the puffiness in my face is gone.
mm,
The joint pain is gone. The, the lack of energy is gone. And this was day 5. I
wow.
mean, this wasn't months into a program. This was 5 days into a program, Alex.
Mm,
And during our graduation, or I'm sorry, before the graduation, we were having our first meal. And we're sitting down at the table, and there's this beautiful gourmet meal in front of us. And she looks down at this meal and she says, Daniel, I can't eat this. I said, what do you mean you can't eat this?
mm,
And she said, hang on, I'll be right back. And she runs into the room and she comes back and she has this allergen card from her allergist. And it has a list about 15 different foods that she would have to stay away from. Otherwise, they would cause a flare up within her system. And she's looking at this food and she's looking at her card from the allergist. And she's like, I've had so much improvement within the first 5 days, I'm going for it. I'm going to eat the food. And she started eating this raw gourmet meal. And what's unique about our Bella Vita program is we're not incorporating any grains because we recognize that most individuals who have a chronic condition may have issues with grains.
mm,
And we recognize that there's so many different autoimmune conditions out there. And we don't incorporate soy either. So we eliminate a lot of these foods that individuals are triggered by.
mm,
But this poor girl, she had a list of many different other foods that she was not supposed to consume. So she's eating the food, she's eating the meal, and she doesn't have any issues.
Praise God.
From that point on, her health just continues to get better and better and better. And she's amazed because she's like, my doctors were saying I need to stay on pharmaceuticals. I'm not going to be able to live a pain-free life. But in a matter of days, she was living life again, and she was healthy and she was happy. Now, it wasn't just within the 10-day program. She went home and she continued this lifestyle. Like I said, she attended our program, it was 5 or 6 years ago. And she recently reached out to my wife and she said, you wouldn't believe it, but I have been able to reverse all of my chronic conditions. Isn't that cool?
Wow, praise God.
Yeah. Not just one, not just two, all of her chronic conditions. Now, it wasn't just incorporating our program. Our program was the foundational approach, but she stuck with the health journey for the past 5 years. So what you see, like I mentioned earlier, is we worked hard at getting sick. We also have to work hard at getting well. And so many times people can throw in the towel. So many times people can feel discouraged. So many times people may not see the results, so they stop it. Instead of sticking in there and waiting to receive these benefits. But this girl that I mentioned, with all of these different health conditions that she was having, how old do you think she was?
I don't know, maybe like 48.
Your 40s, maybe older.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think of a young person. I mean, a young person shouldn't come down with health issues like these, right?
Yeah, I mean,
She was 27 years. She was 27 years old, Alex.
she's very young to have those
She
problems.
she's a young girl. But the
Mm.
thing is, the sad part is, we're bombarded by toxins, whether in the form of medication. Our mentor, Charlotte Gerson, she shared with us that all medication is liver toxic. Now, yes, medication has its time and place, but if we're focusing on detoxifying our system, if we're focused on regaining our health, we don't want to incorporate unnecessary toxins into our system.
Interesting.
But this girl who came through our program, who was 27 years old, I mean, these are conditions that you may see in an older individual, like you said, 48 years old, an individual who has done a lot of damage to their body.
Yeah.
But the thing, Alex, is I believe because of the environment that we are living in, because of the fact that we are bombarded by these toxins and these impurities within our food, within our air, within our water, within our cosmetics, that our bodies are reaching this toleration point to where it says, I'm sorry, I can't keep up with this toxic load any longer. And the system starts to fail. I mean, for instance, Alex, when you go and pump your gas, the smell of the gas. When I was a kid, I loved it. Even though it was the worst thing, I remember when I was a kid, I'd open up the gas can and I sniff the gas, and my father would be like, "No, don't touch that."
Yeah.
But have you ever thought of standing upwind when you're pumping your gas so you don't smell those fumes? Most people don't think of that.
Yeah.
But gasoline, it contains benzene. Benzene is a toxin that ultimately affects our DNA. And when we affect our DNA system, there could potentially be a cascade of health issues that can be associated with that. But the effects of benzene can negatively impact or impair our endocrine system, which is responsible for our hormonal system as well. And it was interesting because in Erica's situation, we didn't do anything that was too far out. We didn't do anything that was We didn't do anything that hadn't been used in the past to assist somebody's health. We incorporated simple aspects of nutrition and herbal therapies to assist somebody's health. And one of the things we really focus on, Alex, is eliminating these toxins and these impurities that we're bombarded with, but furthermore, assisting the 7 channels of elimination of the body. Because God has given us certain organs,
Wow.
He's given us certain detox pathways that I believe if we assist them, we're going to ultimately help our bodies as we're bombarded through this toxic load. You know?
Yeah. You mentioned 7 different.
Yes, yeah, 7 different ones. So, I mean, the first one I look at is the bowel, your colon.
Yeah.
Okay, that you think that you're the storage house for your feces. Okay, and it's going to dispose of toxins from the digestive system and the liver. Okay, so focusing on cleaning the colon is one of the primary foundations that we have, is cleaning the colon. And you know, the majority of individuals are constipated. And you know what constipation means?
I mean,
It, yeah,
pain.
yeah, right, yeah. Constipation, it means not being able to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's been stated that going once to 3 times a week is considered normal. I mean, I think of my child. Every time my child eats, it goes to the restroom. It's been stated that 50% of the United States population is constipated.
Wow.
We've met some people who are going once a month.
Yeah. I mean, babies, right? I mean, you change the diapers like 2 or 3 times a day because they eat and then, instead
Yeah.
babies, it's fast.
Yeah. So assisting these detox channels of elimination, but recognizing that I believe a lot of diseases, or the majority of diseases, are caused by blockages. They could be emotional blockages, they could be physical blockages. So you think of, if the colon is not moving properly, if you're experiencing stagnation, if you're not eliminating feces out of your colon, you're plugging up one of the body's detox pathways. So one of the things we look at is cleaning the colon is one of the key foundational approaches, like I mentioned. So we like to incorporate herbs to assist in cleaning the colon. But we also like to look at the kidneys as well, because the kidneys, these are the filters of the body, and they're going to filter waste products from the body and excrete them. But again, if the kidneys are not eliminating and excreting these impurities like they should, what's going to happen? I mean, the sad part is a lot of individuals are dehydrated. They're not drinking enough fluids. They're not being able to then urinate enough. So looking at assisting the kidneys in proper elimination is going to be very beneficial. But then the other one we look at is the liver. Now, the liver is the second largest organ besides the skin. And the liver's job is to chemically convert destructive toxins into less harmful substances that the colon and the kidneys will eliminate. But if the colon is not moving properly, if the kidneys are not functioning properly, how are we going to excrete these less harmful substances? So focusing on assisting the liver through proper detoxification, which God has created our body to naturally do, we're just helping it. That's the thing, Alex. We're just trying to help our body through proper detoxification. And then we're assisting the lungs as well, because the lungs dispatch toxins as we exhale. So assisting the lungs is one of the detox pathways, but the skin being the largest organ of the body, we need to perspire, we need to sweat. This morning I went to the gym at 6:30 in the morning and I worked out, and then I sat in the sauna. and I was sweating and sweating and sweating. I was perspiring. And we've had individuals come through our program in the past, and they're sitting in the sauna, and they're like, I can't sweat. I'm not perspiring.
Oh.
But then we find, Alex, is that as the days of the program progresses, their body starts to sweat. And ultimately, we're trying to assist the body through purging. And when we look at purging, sweating, assisting the skin, we like to incorporate skin brushing as well to move the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system, it's made up of filters, okay? And these filters are going to transport water and toxins from the cells of the body, okay? But unlike the heart has valves that will naturally open and close. The lymph system has that as well, very similar, but these valves open and close by movement. So if we're not moving, if we're not exercising, if we're not walking, if we're not jogging, if we're not moving the lymph system, we're keeping these filters from being able to purge. So we like to focus on the lymph system, incorporating herbs to assist the lymph system through purging these toxins and these impurities, but we also like to focus on the blood. Like I mentioned earlier, Leviticus says that the life is in the blood, so we want to keep the blood clean, but we want to make sure that we have proper circulation as well, because the blood is crucial in taking toxins out of the body and transporting them to other organs of elimination. But like I mentioned earlier, if those other organs of elimination are not moving properly, if those other organs of the body, like the colon, like the kidneys, like the liver, if they're not functioning in the way that God designed them to, because our poor lifestyle choices, because of the toxins and the purities that we're bombarded with, if we're not able to open up these channels of elimination, the body is ultimately going to be affected, you know? So we really want to look at assisting these detox channels of elimination. So we incorporate a lot of different herbs to really help to cleanse these different channels of elimination for proper detoxification. But when we look at toxins, because I know that's kind of, the main topic for today, what are some of these toxins that we're bombarded with?
That's a good question.
I mean, they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
I put on the lotion. My body's absorbing through the skin. I walk outside, I'm breathing in oxygen. I'm eating food. There could be high levels of heavy metals in the soil that I end up ingesting in my body. So we're bombarded by these toxins and these impurities every single day. It's inevitable. But what are some of these toxins? And ultimately, what are some of the things that we can do to assist these toxins and this load of these impurities that our body is bombarded with? But one of the first ones I want to look at here is PCBs. Now, PCBs, they've been outlawed. And they've been outlawed for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, why would we want to be concerned about a toxin that's been outlawed? You see, these PCBs, and I have a note here, they were manufactured from 1929 until they were banned by the Toxic Substance Control Act in 1979. So it's no longer being used in production. They've been banned, they've been outlawed. But the thing is that different things that were built before 1979 will still contain these. Therefore, we can still have we could still have an interaction with some of these toxins, even though they've been banned and we don't see them used any longer. But PCBs, we could find them in transformers and capacitors. They've been found in electrical equipment, oil used in motor and hydraulic systems, fluorescent light bulbs. So if you have a piece of machinery, if you have something that was produced before 1979, you can come in contact with this toxin. So you think of old homes that we walk into that potentially, have old paint, have old plumbing, old grease from years ago that could potentially affect our health if we come in contact with them. So PCBs, they've been shown to damage the immune system. They've been shown to affect the reproductive system. And I think of so many individuals, we met so many individuals, even friends of ours, who can't conceive. They can't get pregnant and have a child. And I think of, could it be because of these toxins and these impurities that we're bombarded with? And we actually have met some individuals who have gone through a detox approach, who have eliminated toxins and impurities that they were using on a daily basis that they didn't know about. And Alex, they were able to get pregnant and have a child. Wow. So it's amazing that when we assist our body could then function the way it was designed to. And of course, there's other issues that may come into play as well, but I just find that toxins and impurities are very concerning. So PCBs, they've been shown to affect the nervous system. They've been shown to affect the endocrine system, which is responsible for the hormonal system of the body. PCBs, they've been shown to affect the production of thyroid hormone. And what was interesting was PCB levels are now so high that they appear to cause a totally preventable, let me get that again. PCB levels are now so high that they appear to cause a totally preventable 24% of all heart attacks. And this is something that has been reported. I mean, I'm not just spewing this on the top of my head here. So these are toxins that are concerning. These are toxins that are affecting our health. These are toxins that we're bombarded with every single day. And, Alex, it's really interesting because we find so many individuals today that are coming down with diabetes, or they have some form of insulin intolerance. Their body is not functioning properly in that way. And there is a research article that was done. And what they did was they took over 5,000 individuals. And this was over a 23-year period, okay? So it was a long-term study that they did. And the study only included individuals who were not diabetic when it began. So 23 years, that's a long span, right?
I know.
So what they showed was that when individuals reached around middle age or so, they didn't have any issues. They didn't have any insulin issues that they were experiencing. Now, the study specifically was looking at individuals who came in contact with the toxin that I'm talking about, PCBs. Okay, so it was looking specifically at PCBs and individuals who came in contact with this toxin. So individuals who were studied for 23 years, they didn't show any sign of insulin issues, diabetic issues, until, this was really interesting, until they passed their mid-40s. So once they passed their mid-40s, they started to rapidly decrease their ability for this toxic load that they were under. And what they showed was once they reached beyond their 40s, into their 50s and beyond, they started having more impaired blood sugar regulation. So for me, what it shows is that it gets to, our body has a toleration point.
Mm-hmm.
And once we go beyond that toleration point, our body, it can't, it has to say, okay, come on, put on the brakes here a little bit. My body isn't able to function the way it's supposed to. These toxins and these impurities are affecting my health. And clearly, what we've seen through this research article is that through this 23-year span, I believe once individuals started to reach this toleration point, their body wasn't able to function the way it was supposed to. And in this case, the more impaired blood sugar regulation these people had. So PCBs, a toxin that's affecting our health. But another one that a lot of us encounter, I would say every day, if we're not mindful of this toxin, are BPAs. And BPAs, they're contained in many food packages. So if you think of cans, the lining of the inside of a can, the lining of an inside of a package. And when we eat canned soup or drink, say even soy milk, the BPA the coating in this package or this can, it will increase our own level of BPA levels in our body. And it's destructive. It's been shown that these BPAs affect our endocrine system. They have a higher incidence of chronic diseases and an increased rate of aging. They block the receptor sites on the cells that insulin activates to allow sugar in. And a lot of individuals are bombarded by these BPAs every single day, whether they know it or they don't. So somebody may have thyroid issues, and it can be because of the BPAs in the lining of their canned soup or in the lining of the package of their crackers or their chips. Or maybe they're having blood sugar issues, and that could be because of the BPAs that they are ingesting and absorbing through the packages that their food is sitting in.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I
yeah,
I heard a question I have.
yeah,
I heard you mentioned something with the thyroid, right? The ladies, I think it's a very small percentage for men. I mean, I don't know, maybe you know more, but the ladies has this problem with the thyroid, and you mentioned also with the lady, he has Hashimoto's.
yeah,
I heard that it's very hard or no cure. Like, I mean, maybe the lowest minus. I don't know. What do you think about trying to detoxing ourselves? And because there's this kind of disease, sometimes it's very, very, very hard to get rid of it. I mean, I don't know if it's secure or something. What do you think about this Hashimoto's
yeah.
thyroid thing?
Well, for the individual that I mentioned, she
Hmm.
reversed her condition.
Wow, interesting.
So, I mean, it's coming to an awareness of these toxins and these impurities that we are bombarded with.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at, okay, what cosmetics do I need to change? What toxins and impurities may be in the cookware that I'm using, the gel that I put in my hair,
Mm.
in the water. So having filtered water, but
Yeah.
assisting the body through a detoxification approach is just one aspect of it. I mean, there's many different other things we have to look at as well. But I have seen individuals receive improvement or experience a reversal.
Mm.
So I think there is hope because our body is self healing and self repairing. I think ultimately we need to put our body under the right condition,
Mm.
give our body the right nutrients that it needs, eliminate the toxins and the impurities, but we have to dig a little bit deeper as well
Yeah.
and say, are there any nutritional deficiencies that an individual may be having? Are there any genetic predispositions that an individual may be having that could be contributing to this poor thyroid function? So there's a few different things we have to look at as well, but in case of the individual that I mentioned, she reversed her condition. So I think there is absolutely hope.
It's still
It's
hope.
just it
Different
could just be
cases.
a different cases. It could be a case by case
Yeah,
situation
of course.
depending on the individual and the severity of their health issue as well. You know,
Mm, mm,
um,
great. Thank you.
but yeah, but looking at the toxins, okay, that we're
Yeah.
bombarded with, PCBs or BPA's that I'm talking about is a known one, and it's been shown to clog the liver. The liver, the second largest of the organ, its job is to filter out, convert toxic impurities to less toxic impurities. If our liver's clogged, if our liver is not functioning properly, what are we going to have? We're not going to function the way we're supposed to. We're
Yeah.
going to add unnecessary stress on the other organs of our body as well. But these BPAs, they block the insulin receptor sites on our cells.
Mm,
So we're not allowing the insulin into our cell. We're blocking the insulin receptor site on our cell. So, I mean, I think that's concerning for somebody who may have diabetes or pre-diabetes or have insulin resistance. Looking at the BPA is a potential concern. They damage our genes. They undermine the repair and recovery of our DNA. So, a concern, they cause digestive problems. They affect our mitochondria function. They damage our genes. They cause immune issues, hormonal imbalance as well. So you think, Alex, as we recognize these toxins that are out there, as we look at, okay, what is the health issue? What is the health challenge that I am having? What do I need to do to regain my health? I think we have to look at toxins and impurities.
mm,
Now, it doesn't mean we may be able to completely eliminate the exposure, but we certainly can lessen the exposure from these toxins and impurities. I mean, we have to live life,
yeah.
we have to breathe, we have to eat food, we have to drink water. I mean, these are some of the essentials to be able to live and function.
Yeah.
But what can we do to better our life? And what are some of the things we can do to assist our body through proper detoxification, especially when we recognize what toxins and impurities are out there?
Mm-hmm.
So I love to have a water filtration system in my home. So I'm purifying my water. I don't like to use cosmetics that have toxic substances within them. So I like to use clean cosmetics that have clean labels. I like to consume foods that are organic. Now there could potentially be cross exposure, but I'm ensuring myself that I'm buying something that has a label on it, so I know I'm lessening the toxic exposure from the food that I'm eating. I'm making sure that I'm buying food that doesn't have BPA coatings in it. And I'm making sure that I'm incorporating um, cleaning supplies within my home that are clean labeled, that don't have toxins and impurities. So I think of the Ajax and the Clorox and some of these other cleaning agents that we use because we want to kill that pathogen in our house,
Yeah.
but could we slowly be killing ourselves as well, you know? So I think it's something we have to look at, Alex. But I also look at the fact that, did you know God has a cleansing message? I think it's really interesting that God has a cleansing message for us. And I like to see the parallel behind this. And I see a parallel of the plan of salvation and the plan of health as well. So I know it's kind of shifting from toxins, but looking at a spiritual aspect, God wants to assist us through a cleansing message as well.
Yeah.
And I find this really neat. And in Second Corinthians 7:1, it says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. So you see that there's a cleansing message that God has on a moral and on a spiritual nature, okay? God ultimately, he wants to see us pure. Just like, the life is in the blood. God wants us to have clean blood. That's how he created us. So why are we causing our blood to become filthy, to become dirty? I even think of what are some of the things that we're injecting. I think of the last couple of years. What are some of the things that we're injecting into our blood that could ultimately be dirtying or toxifying our blood, ultimately toxifying our system? But I see in 1 John 1:9, it says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us. Hear that cleansing word? But to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So he wants to cleanse us emotionally, I believe, spiritually, I would say physically.
Yeah.
In Titus 3:5, Alex, it says, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercies he has saved us, by the washing of regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Ghost. So I believe there is a cleansing and a regenerating process that takes place on a moral and on a spiritual level within our lives. So likewise, when I believe God wants us to cleanse spiritually, to cleanse emotionally, I believe he wants us to cleanse physically, clean our blood, clean our detox pathways of our body so we could function properly. And I would say so then we could better function in the image that he created us in. He created us in a garden without any sickness or disease. And we know it's the enemy's plan for us to be sick, for us to be tired, for us to have disease, for us to be depressed. But I don't think this was God's will for us. Right. So if we assist our body, and I look at assisting our body holistically, not just taking one organ, not just taking one system, but looking at the body as a whole. Because if one system or organ is impaired, the other systems or organs can be impaired as well. So that's why when I'm looking at detoxifying the body, looking at cleansing my body emotionally, physically, spiritually, especially as the author Ellen White, she said that 9/10 of all disease has the origin in the mind. And because of our thinking, because of our mental anguish, that could affect us in not being able to regain health properly in the way we should. Because, hey, maybe I don't care about my health. Maybe I feel sick and I feel tired and nobody cares about me. Why do I even need to try? So I think we need to focus on emotionally, how could we better our health? We have to look at our sins, our toxins, how could we assist our health? We have to look at how could we eliminate these toxins and these impurities that we're bombarded with. We have to look at what can we do to assist our health in eliminating these toxins and these impurities. And talking about mental health, emotional health for a minute, okay? Mm-hmm. I think that's a huge key, because if we have any mental anguish within our lives, that could be a key result to our poor health. For instance, Alex, there was a book that came out, A Cancer Battle Plan. And what it showed was key emotions can affect key organs within our body. Mm-hmm. For instance, anger is associated with the liver. So if you're angry, you may not have the best liver health. Bitterness associated with the gallbladder. Grief, sadness associated with your heart and your lungs. Vulnerability, feelings of abandonment, your small intestines. So if there's somebody out there and they have intestinal issues, maybe one of the roots of the issue can be vulnerability or feeling of abandonment. Another one here is inflexibility, defensiveness is associated with the large intestine. Low self-esteem, feelings of rejection is associated with the spleen and the pancreas. Fear and terror, the kidneys. Irritation and timidity, your bladder. Confusion, your thyroid and your adrenal glands. So we have to look at the whole picture here. We have to look at the picture as a whole. We have to assist the body in its entirety. Because like I said, if one system or organ is not functioning properly, it's going to affect the other systems and organs of the body as well. So focusing on our mental health is key. Focusing on our physical health is key. Looking at, like I mentioned, toxins and impurities. But I mean, a deeper dive, and we don't have to go into that today, is nutritional deficiencies. I mean, sadly, Alex, the soil that our food is grown in is depleted from key nutrients. So now we're eating food to sustain our life that's already depleted in nutrition. And now we're eating this, and the food that we may be eating, it could have been sitting in a warehouse for months before it finally gets on our plate. So we're eating nutritionally depleted food. We're eating food that could be sprayed with toxins. And now we're ingesting this and we're going, why am I not feeling well? But God, I'm following your plan. I'm following your 8 laws of health. I'm following your diet approach, but my health is failing me. Why is my health failing me? Well, we have to take a deep dive. And it could be many different aspects to why your health is failing you. I don't think we could just simply stop at the fact that I'm eating a diet that God intended me to eat, therefore I'm doing fine. Well, you're not doing fine if your health is failing you. So then what do we need to do? We need to put on our thinking caps a little bit. We need to find somebody who may be able to coach you through a health journey, a health approach to uncover some of these things, whether it's nutrition, whether it's detoxification, whether it's mental health. So, we have to assist the body, but recognize that just because I'm eating my broccoli, my lettuce, and my carrots, and my apples, and my peaches, I still could have poor health. So I need to uncover why I may be having poor health and incorporate the things to assist the health. And I think so many times, Alex, a lot of people are focused on diets, but I think one thing we need to look at is not necessarily the diet, but what am I eliminating from my diet? Because you could be a vegan, but you could be a junk food vegan. Yeah. You could be a vegetarian, but you could be a junk food vegetarian. And I see there's so much confusion, and I see so many different arguments online because people are arguing back and forth. Well, this diet is better. That diet is better. Do the keto, do the paleo, do the vegan, do the vegetarian. But the thing is, I think one of the main commonalities that a lot of these diets may have is they're eliminating a lot of the junk, a lot of the potential impurities that they had been eating within their food, Yeah. So the vegan may be eliminating the processed food, the canned food. And let me tell you, a lot of the fake alternative foods out there, they're not healthy for you.
Yeah, right.
That's not necessarily going to sustain life. But the vegan may receive improvements, but the paleo may be receiving improvements as well. But the commonality is a lot of times I see they're eliminating the junk food. So eliminate the junk food, incorporate the good food, eliminate the toxic exposure, assist the body, and the body will respond favorably. So this is why for over 20 years, we've been assisting individuals through regaining their health, just like the testimony that I gave earlier. We had an individual who came through the program and they came through the door. They had cirrhosis of the liver. The abdomen was extended. They were jaundiced. The doctor had them on medical leave. Within 10 days, their health revived. And they went back home, had blood work done, and the doctor was amazed. We see this time and time again with liver issues. We had an individual that I met at ASI, and he had hepatitis C. And he went through the program, continued the program for 3 months after he came through our facility. And once he had his blood work done, the hepatitis C was gone. The doctor said, I'm blown away. I cannot see any hepatitis antibodies within your blood any longer. So it's amazing, Alex, when you see improvements like this, and we see them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So for the past 20 years, we've brought individuals into our doors to assist them through this cleansing program. We've also assisted other individuals in training them. There's some other lifestyle centers that are out there that we trained to learn how to assist the body through this process. But Alex, we also incorporated or developed over 20 years ago our cleansing line, our cleansing package with the key herbs, with the instructions in the proper ratios that we ship right to the individual's door. So they're able to go through the cleanse, they're able to receive the benefits, they're able to experience the improvements in the comfort of their own home, with the instructions on how to do it, with the herbal formulas that are prepared already for the individual. So our package, it consists of 9 different formulas. There's a flaxseed oil, so beneficial for your hair, your skin, your nails, your hormones, for brain health. We have a super manna, which is our greens formula that has many different greens in there to assist with energy production, to assist with detoxification. Oh, you're pulling up our website right here. So we have many different cleansing packages. And the one I'm talking about, Alex, is our 10-day cleanse. So we have a formula number 1 that helps to increase bowel function, especially if an individual is constipated. We have our bowel number 2 that has herbs in there that is going to bind with impurities, that's going to soothe the intestinal tract, and that is going to help to move unwanted feces through. We have a detox tea that gently helps to detoxify the 7 channels of elimination. We have a detox formula that helps to detoxify the blood and the lymphatic system. We have a kidney bladder formula that contains the herbs to assist the kidneys and the bladder. We have a liver gallbladder formula that contains the herbs to assist the liver and the gallbladder. We even have a formula with the herbs known to assist in eradicating parasites and worms. And that one's interesting, Alice, because in 1997, the National Geographic came out with an article, and they said that the Chicina tapeworm can grow up to 35 feet long in the body and live up to 10 years.
Wow,
and
that's
it's
crazy.
ultimately sucking the life right out of you, you know?
Yeah.
And you think of, we focus on deworming our cats and our dogs and any other animals that we have, but we don't always think about deworming ourselves. So we incorporate a formula that has the herbs to assist in eradicating parasites and worms. So Alex, our 10-day program, it includes the formulas to assist the elimination channels of the body. Because ultimately, we want blood purification, but we want to open up the channels of elimination, especially if they're clogged and especially if they're not functioning properly. So each formula has about, I would say, 10 to 15 different herbs in there that are to assist that specific organ or system of the body. And we ship those out nationwide, internationally, and individuals are going through the cleanse, experiencing the benefits with the instructions on how to do the cleanse, how to prepare the drinks, and we're here to assist individuals if they need any more coaching or any more assistance as well. And I've been fortunate because I've probably done this cleanse, for the past 15 years. So
I
It's
tried
just,
it one
Alex,
time. I
you
bought
did.
it. Me and my wife, we did it, and it's powerful. Let me tell you. You can tell. Don't think the. Uh, I remember in the morning you put this green stuff and mix it with the orange juice, or because it's very strong. It's very. I mean, it's very powerful, and you can feel. I mean, it's not cheap stuff. Like you're thinking like, I mean, this is so. I mean, it's not natural. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you buy a product that it's like you need to put more because sometimes you're
Yeah,
thinking
right.
like, maybe it's not too strong or something. No, this is the real stuff. Let me tell you. And I did that with my wife. I think like a couple times we did that through the year, and maybe we need to do it again because I don't know, maybe it's once a year or something. But I just want to share with you guys that I have a link that our brother uh, Daniel shared with us with the Just Be Blessed that is gonna be for the individuals that really want to get purchase her stuff, and please use the link and the description below of this video. Use that link because it's gonna be a help also the Just Be Blessed with 10%. I just want to share that with you guys. That was very nice that brother Daniel did that for us. uh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
uh, I mentioned your website, but do you do you go to churches or do this, and or people go to you, or you can go to a church or something? How that works, or maybe a health event? I mean, I don't know. Tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So currently we are on the island of Hawaii. We're on the big island of Hawaii.
Okay.
And we're going through and speaking at some of the local churches here right now. We spoke at a church 2 weekends ago. We speak at another church in 2 weekends. So sharing with them not just on cleansing, but natural remedy workshops, how to assist the body through detoxification, how emotions can affect your health, how to assist the body through genetic testing or nutritional testing as well, incorporating health in the gospel as well. So, yes, we do go to churches. We are looking at hosting a program here on the island for individuals who want to not only come to this beautiful island of Hawaii, but go through a detoxification as well. That's my wife right there. She's a nurse and a registered dietitian, and she really works with our guests and our clients in assisting them and putting together a nutritional approach to assist them with their health. Because so many individuals, like I said, they're confused. They think they're eating healthy, but sadly, they're not. And their health testifies to the fact that they're not healthy. So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, we do go to churches. If any churches are interested in having us come in to do a workshop or come in for a weekend and have presentations, we do offer on site retreats where individuals can go through our cleansing program that we administer on them and walk them through with lifestyle education, hydrotherapy, or individuals can do the cleanses in the convenience of their home and we ship them the cleanse
That's
right
great.
to their door. Yeah.
Wow, that's.
And so we have, Alex, not only our 10-day cleanse,
Hmm.
but we have individual formulas. We have other cleanses as well. But I think for individuals who have never gone through a thorough, now I use that word thorough because like what you mentioned earlier, you can find products out there that are not quality.
Yeah.
The herbal quantity is just not in the formulas. We use the highest quantity herbs and formulations for our cleansing kits in our herbal formulas. Um, but individuals who go through our cleansing program, like I said, the program, it's structured. It has the instructions so you can go through the program in the convenience of your home. So you follow it step by step. For instance, 8 a.m. you do this, 7 a.m. you do that, 3 p.m. you do this. But one of the questions, Alex, that I receive a lot of times is if I'm doing a cleanse, am I always going to be running to the restroom? I mean, you think of purging the system, am I going to have to be close to the toilet? And the answer is no. Because what's going to happen is it's going to increase your bowel function. It's going to increase elimination, but it's not going to cause you to run to a restroom. You're going to notice an urge to go to the restroom, but understand that we're increasing bowel function. We're eliminating old feces that may be in your intestinal tract. We're incorporating soothing herbs that will be soothing to the intestinal tract, especially if somebody has leaky gut, which I find a lot of people have leaky gut, and it's really sad. Excuse me. But you have the other formulas, the colon formula, the blood formula, the liver formula, the kidney formula, the greens formula to boost the immune system, the detox tea, the detoxify the blood and the lymphatic system. So I would advise, your listeners to click the link that you have, read we've recently implemented a review app so our customers can start reviewing our product, but read through some of the reviews of the individuals who have gone through the cleanse and the benefits that they have received through it. Because not a lot of people think about, I need to assist my detox pathways of elimination. Not a lot of people think I need to cleanse. And there's so many cleanses on the market, but our interest is incorporating and providing herbal formulas to our clients that actually work and have the testimonies to prove that the formulas have actually assisted them,
Yeah.
And Alex, it's been amazing just seeing testimonies who were scheduled for liver transplants, canceled, scheduled to have their gallbladder removed, canceled, autoimmune conditions reversed, and you're saying individuals can actually regain their life. And I'm not saying that in 10 days through going through the cleanse, you're going to experience this.
The beginning,
but
right?
Absolutely. What you're providing your body with is the foundational approach to assist your health. And ultimately, it's what you do from here on that is going to provide the majority of the benefits that you'll receive. We're just trying to get you started, open up any blockages within your system, purge unwanted toxins and impurities, incorporating fresh living nutrition. And, my prayer is that you would have a testimony, as in your audience, if somebody does the cleanse, would have a testimony like some of our other clients have had.
Yes.
To where, wait, I've reversed my health condition.
I know, right?
I've received a new bill of health. My autoimmune condition is gone. I love these stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons, Alex, why we continue doing what we're doing is it's changing people's lives.
Amen. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? That's all about, through the gospel and also through health. And thank you so much, Brother Daniel Vierra here, and just be blessed. Thank you so much for taking your busy schedule to be here and share with us, the health message, and through this detoxing, because let me tell you, we live in this world that everything's chemical stuff and bombarding and all the stuff. And it's good to hear, to be aware, what is a product out there, and also with a person that, companies, like you were saying, this is a lot of things about detoxing, whatever, but the healthy way that a person is a Christian, that he's not interesting about, not just like, oh, you know what, I just sold this product. No, it's just, I really want to help you to heal you, but also through prayer. So that's why I was really like, you know what, I'm gonna invite this brother because it's a different from the other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks so much for being here. Seriously, for being here, and just be blessed. This is a live show. I know there's some comments in here, but the time is running out. But if somebody really want to know more about his ministry, please use the link is in the description this video, or also the video I mean, the link is in the chat area. Use that link to know more about his ministry and buy his church, and buy those products. Seriously, I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. What is $300 to be you healthy that you go to the doctor for thousands and thousands of dollars, right? I mean, to me, it's not no brainer to be healthy at the beginning of a new health, beginning of a new health lifestyle, right? Uh, all right, so thanks so much. Please don't hang up. I'm gonna finish this video, okay?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out here with me. My name is Alex Castillejos. We share people's testimonies, and this is Just Be Blessed. Please share this link with your friends and family, because let me tell you, detoxing, you're gonna find out that maybe you really need a detoxing, because we're putting a lot of stuff in our lifestyle and what we're putting in our bodies that we need a nice detoxing kits, and I'm gonna show it to you. Brother Daniel has an amazing product for years. Go check him out, the website, and also you're gonna be learning more about his ministry. So take advantage of that. The link of this ministry is in the description of this video. My name is Alex Castillejos. We see you next week with another powerful testimony. Bye bye.